Welcome back to Beyond the Precon, second episode. We're going to be talking about Jennifer Walters' She-Hulk. We're going to talk about the strengths, the weaknesses, how to upgrade those precons, and in what aspects I believe she is the most flavorful. There you go, flavorful. I like that. All right, so let's take a look without further ado, because I want to try to keep these in between 20 minutes. Jennifer Walters. So she is an attorney. She's gamma traded. She's got a hand size of 6 and 15 hit points. Massive. She's got that 5 recovery, which is great. And she has one of the coolest alter ego abilities in the game, which is I object, which is when a threat will be placed on a scheme, you can object to that threat and then reduce that by 1. So that's pretty solid, especially for solo. In multiplayer, it doesn't seem as good because, you know, it's going up by 2 or 3 or 4, but in solo, it's going up by 1 a turn. You can object to that, and then it's pretty solid. All right, when she goes to hero form, she has a hand size of 4, which is arguably her biggest weakness. But to compensate that, she has a cool effect after you change to this form, deal 2 damage to an enemy, which is huge, 2 damage for free, just for changing forms. Not only that, she also has the highest attack as an attack of 3. So, this being said, She-Hulk is a very well-rounded character, but what is often forgotten is that she has 2 sides. So we have a tendency to look at She-Hulk as a punching, aggressive machine. But that's Hulk. Hulk is an aggressive punching machine. She-Hulk is an attorney, and she's a lot more composed, and that's why her alter ego side is super strong in this game. All right, now, let's take a look why it's super strong. Let's take a look at what makes her unique in her kit. Well, first of all, let's talk about Hellcat. Hellcat is an Avenger ally that can thwart for 2, come back, and you can bring it back to your hand and replay this card. So this is super unique. So you thwart for 2, the next turn you thwart for 2, bring her back, play her again, thwart for 2. So aside from the turn she comes out, she can technically thwart for 4 every turn. So helping you, go down to alter ego with She-Hulk, which is what you want to do in her kit. That is one thing that we tend to forget. We get stuck that she has a 4 hand size, but we forget that if she flips, she deals 2 damage, she prevents 1 threat, and then she has a hand size of 6. So she wants to flip-flop. She is the queen of the flip-flopping technique. She is the original OG flip-flopper. All right. The other thing that says, hey, let's play into this flip-flop mechanic is her Superhuman Law Division. This is not a card that you should ignore. This is a priority card for her. Alter ego action, you can exhaust this by spending a mental and remove 2 threat. That's super solid. So if you have 1 mental resource or objections, is you really removed 3 threat just by being an alter ego. Imagine with your Hellcat and all that. So it's very, very unique to her kit. Now, let's go back. Let's talk about a couple of other cards that remove threat and alter ego. The 2 cards that she has is Legal Practice. Now, Legal Practice, a lot of people don't like this card, and I'm not going to talk about a lot of people, but this card is there when it's necessary. So you're an alter ego. If you need to remove threat, bam, you can remove threat in alter ego. You get a nasty side scheme. Perfect. Just discard a few cards. Done. And discarding card is not a problem for She-Hulk. Why? Because she has some of the best upgrades in the game, which is 2 Focused Rage. All you need to do is take a damage to draw a card. That's insane. So what you're throwing out with the Legal Practice, you can just enrage, be pissed, flip the hero form, deal 2 damage, and then take 2 damage to draw 2 extra cards. So if you have these 2 out and you're wearing alter ego, you can technically come down to hero side and have a hand size of 8 cards, which is huge. So that's one of the best mechanics in the game. Insane. All right, she also has a couple of upgrades, to showcase her strength. Superhuman strength, she gets +2 attack. That means she's punching something for 5. And as a forced response, after she attacks, discard superhuman strength, stun the attacking enemy. So stun the attacked enemy. Now be very careful because if you play an attack event, let's say like her kit comes with relentless assault and uppercut. So if you play an attack event, this will trigger the force response because it doesn't say after She-Hulk makes a basic attack. No, no, no. After She-Hulk attacks. So all those events are attack events. So that's one thing. Just be careful that you don't lose that +2 bonus. All right. Very important. Now, looking more to the events that she has, she's got 3 1-2 punches. Amazing. So if you have a hand size of 6, you can flip to hero form, deal 2 damage, punch for 3, play a 1-2 punch, punch for 3, play a 1-2 punch, punch for 3, play a 1-2 punch, punch for 3. So in one turn, you can just easily, for 3 resources, and by playing those cards, you can deal 3, 4, 6, 3, 6, 9, 12, 14 damage, including the 2 from when you flip. 14 damage in one turn, just on turn 1. That is a possibility with this. So she is incredibly powerful right out of the gate. Now, she has a couple of extra cards. The card that most people, don't talk about most people. This card called Ground Stomp is deal 1 damage to each enemy. Again, this is a situational card. It has the mental resource, so you can always discard it to the legal practice, or the legal, the superhuman law division. But also, if you play against Ultron, this kit, even in a multiplayer game, this deals 1 damage to each enemy in play, everything. So if there's like 18 Ultron drones, for 2 damage, you took out 18 drones. Boom, done. So, but where this card this is exponentially good. The more enemies, the better this card is. The less enemies, the more it's just okay. So again, to balance the game, this is a fair card that has its potential in a lot of situations. Now, a lot of people. Okay, so when you start the game, you might think that Gamma Slam is her ultimate card because it says hero action attack, deal X damage to an enemy to the maximum of 15, where X is the amount of damage you've taken. So if you're at 2 health, you've taken 13 damage, and you can do 4 for 13 damage. You're like, yeah, awesome sauce. It's not bad, okay? But you don't need to always be at the cusp. If 4 damage, you can deal 10 damage with it, it's okay. So, but this card again is a very situational card. It is a finisher, but sometimes we have a tendency to see this super powerful card and want to hold on to it like 1 turn, 2 turn, 3 turns. And if you're in She-Hulk form, it's not a good situation. It's not a good strategy because she only has that hand size of 4. So with a hand size of 4, if you have this, you need a double resource to play it, unless you have some other things installed. So Gamma Slam is a very late game card. The best card in her kit is called Split Personality. This is an amazing card. You change your form. That means you get to change forms for free. It doesn't count as your form change per turn. So what you can do is you start an alter ego, you have Split Personality, you play a couple cards, you flip down, you play, let's say, a 1-2 punch, you keep 3 resources, and you play Split Personality, flip back to alter ego, and then draw 6 cards. So then you get to play again. So this is a great card in the beginning. If you get this on your turn 1, this is the card you're playing because it allows you to get in, get out, come back, draw some more cards. If you can set up some stuff, set up your Focused Rage, set up your Superhuman Law Division. This is what you need to do. This is a great card. It helps you set up really fast because it basically gives you 2 turns. So that is it for her kit. So don't sit on Split Personality, one of the best cards in her kit. All right, let's look at what she is presented with in the aggression pool. All right, she is presented with 2 powers of aggression, 2 chase them downs, 2 relentless assaults, 2 uppercuts, 2 tag teams, 2 combat trainings, Tigra and Hulk, and obviously it comes with the same 11 basic cards that we are used to. All right, now There's two ways to lean into the pre-constructed aggression build that she has. If you want to upgrade that precon, you can lean into the more aggressive Hulk style, which would add a lot of physical, you would need extra physical resources to trigger this and Hulk. So one suggestion, if you want to play Hulk and attack with Hulk to deal extra damage, because you're like, oh, I'm going to get that 5. And that's a trap. Because if you look at She-Hulk's kit, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and technically 6 cards that can make Hulk just go away and not stick around, and which is kind of like a gamble. But so that's 6 cards in your kit, and then with the protection, with the aggression cards, you got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 13 cards. Is that it? 13 cards? Yeah, 13 cards. 14, 15 cards that have a mental print. So that is going to make this way less effective. And I'm making a big mess here for Hulk. So if you want my advice, keep Hulk as a good blocker. He can block the little minions that attack for 1 or 2. He can block like 3 times these minions. Or he can negate normally 1 or 2 boss attacks, which is pretty solid. All right. So if you're going to lead into that, into the aggression build, let me just press pause. So yeah, so if you're going to lean into playing more Hulk, I would add 1, 2 helicarriers and an uppercut in your deck. So that's one, the helicarriers are going to be a resource generator, which is super solid. So you'll have 2 more. So you'll probably get it early enough in the game, and a 3rd uppercut. And then what I would replace from her original kit is get rid of that first aid and get rid of 2 of these chase them downs. Now this will permit you to have a better chance. You'll have a 1 in 4 chance instead of a 1 in 3 chance of getting a physical or lightning resource, which or a 1 in 4 chance of not getting. So 25% chance of not getting a mental, or I'm not good in statistics, but anyway, your odds will increase to getting a physical card. Now that is one way to play it. Now me personally, I'd rather lean into flip-flopping, and that's what I recommend playing She-Hulk, is get used to flipping back and forth. Not only do you get a 2 free damage every time you flip, but you'll also get a 6 hand size every other turn, which means you will be able to build faster and play more cards, put more stuff on the table, and really be more effective when you punch and go. So here's my suggestion if you want to play into the alter ego flip-flop mechanics for this. So if you want to play the aggression more passive game, I would highly recommend removing the haymaker, the tenacity, the combat training, and the extra uppercut. So these 4 is what I would replace from the recommended precon. I would replace these 4 for 2 extra emergencies, an extra Avengers Mansion, and a chase them down. Why? Well, 2 Avengers Mansion means we're probably going to get one early in the game. Chase them downs is going to work as, even if I do my ability and take care of a minion, I can always chase them down with my ability without even having to attack. So even more threat control. And if I do decide to stay in alter ego, now I have 3 options to remove extra threat from the main scheme. So this is what my suggestion would be, improving on the precon with aggression. But for me, aggression is her second best feature. Although she's extremely good in leadership with a lot of other cards that we could talk about once some of the other expansions come out, but in her precon, just with the precon, here's my recommendation, is to play her in Justice, because then she gets the best of both worlds. So she has the best attack, and now she has the best thwart cards. So now let's take a look what a precon would be upgraded. Now for me, Justice feels the most thematic for her. Now, because she can control her alter ego side and her hero side, Jennifer Walters in Justice is the bomb. All right, so what would we do for an upgraded precon? So we would play Daredevil, Jessica Jones, of course, the 3 under surveillances in an interrogation room. We would still put the 3-4 justices because we are flipping to hero form, and the 2 powers of justice. For the gray cards, obviously we have the 3 double resources, Nick Fury and Mockingbird. We have 3 emergencies, kind of like with the aggression style. The 2 Avengers Mansions to make sure that we get one fast. The first aids to heal our allies, to do all the work. And a helicarrier to just give us a little bit more resources. That with her kit just makes it just so pleasant to play. You always have full control on the table, and you have full control of the scenario, the scheme. Nothing is going to get out of control. It's basically play the game at your pace, which is, for me, super enjoyable. I get to go to Alter Ego, come back, deal some damage. I go back to Alter Ego, prevent threat. Okay, flip back, punch, punch, punch. So Justice does tend to prolong the games a little bit because it gives you so much. It doesn't give you that sense of urgency that feels like, oh man, I can't control the threat. And the threat, once you've controlled threat, you're pretty much in the game. So this is what I suggest for this. Upgraded precon using only the core set. Now, the next thing we're going to go look at is what hero packs in Justice, which is my favorite aspect for She-Hulk, what hero packs in Justice will serve you the best to enhance this experience. Let's go check it out. All right, if we're looking to upgrade the Alter Ego Justice flip-flop strategy, the best hero pack to buy after the core set would be Black Widow. Now, Black Widow has 4 amazing cards that allow us to really focus into that strategy. The first one is Agent Coulson and Quake. The 2 first ones. So 2 powerful allies. Agent Coulson gets preparation cards, and Quake can deal damage when minions scheme. So this is an ally that can stay on the table all the time and deals 2 damage for free. So between us flipping and a minion scheming, so we can have a 4 free damage every turn, which is pretty good for minions. Then we have the preparations, which are counterintelligence and spycraft. So counterintelligence says, and when any amount of threat would be placed on the main scheme, discard and prevent 3. So between her objection and the counterintelligence, we are preventing 4 threat a turn. That is huge, which means I can stay in Alter Ego almost the entire game. And with the mental, that's super solid. And not only that, if ever you want to play, which is again, her aggressive side of Jennifer Walters, Black Widow also comes with a cool preparation called Counterattack, which actually helps with the aggression strategy too. That is super fun. So that's 5 awesome cards that play extremely well with She-Hulk. So these are obviously the best choices to go. That is from the Black Widow pack. Then my second highly recommended pack would be, it's going to be the Sinister Motives box. Spider-Man Miles Morales' deck comes with 3 really amazing cards that play into the strategy. Monica Chang, which also helps our under surveillance cards, which is going to be placing extra snoop counters on those, which is super solid. It also comes with Global Logistics, which allows us to look and manipulate the top cards of the encounter deck, which is super solid because then you can know what's coming, which is great. So again, it's all in the same strategy of being prepared. And then finally, Homeland Intervention, which is more threat removal that we can do in Alter Ego form. So again, for a maximum of control in Alter Ego. So even if we do flip-flop into hero and back, we can always come back. So these amazing cards come into the Spider-Man, well, in the Sinister Motives box. The third hero I would suggest is Venom. Now, Venom comes with 2 really cool cards. The first one is the Sonic Rifle, which is a weapon that says exhaust the Sonic Rifle and remove a charge counter to confuse an enemy, which is great because I can now go to Alter Ego, I can object to the main scheme going up naturally, and when I'm in hero form, I can confuse the villain, so every time I flip down, no threat is going to be placed there. And also another super cool ally, Jack Flag, kind of like Daredevil. You thwart once, and then you can exhaust him to deal 2 damage by removing ammo counters. So kind of like Daredevil, another great ally that can do it. So these are my top 3 choices to buy if you want to focus on She-Hulk and then that alter ego flip-flop strategy. A few honorable mentions. The Ant-Man deck comes with Lay Down the Law. After you change forms, which you're going to be doing a lot, you get to use a mental and remove threats. Then there is my good friend Hulk, which obviously has a bunch of aggression cards, and the Beat Cops, which are amazing. So if you want to upgrade the Under Surveillance, you can upgrade those. And then finally, Thor, again, more aggression cards. So he plays into both sides of her kit and comes with the Under Surveillance card as a bonus. So these are like the top cards so these are like the top 3, and these are honorable mentions afterwards for the strategy of Jennifer Walters in what I believe is my favorite aspect, just going all in, flipping, control, and damage. So this is my breakdown of Jennifer Walters upgrading her precon and going beyond that, really focusing on justice, which I believe for her is the most fun aspect, and it really plays to her strength. You'll never notice that she'll have a hand size of 4, and when you're in hero form, especially when you go down, when you do flip up and you have your focus rages put down, you then draw 2 cards. There's tons of ways to draw extra cards from that and really build up your deck from those. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. She-Hulk, an awesome character. We'll be able to see what she feels like beyond the precon. I'll do a little quick gameplay video, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this and you want to try to play her a little bit more. Again, aggression and justice are my 2 favorite aspects for her. She plays also very well in leadership, but again, I want to focus on one more thematic aspect for me. All right, so guys, keep on playing Marvel Champions, and I hope this video will help you play the game so you can beat the game. Ciao, ciao.